I just realized that since I didn't take any video of my ride from Mae Chem to Mae Hong Son, I don't think I ever showed my room here at the Lakeview Guesthouse. There isn't a whole lot to show or to talk about. It's a very basic budget guest house, about as basic as you can get, I think. Here's my bed, just a large queen size bed, I guess. A little bit of furniture, chair, little bedside table, which I moved. It was against that wall, and I moved it here to be closer to the bed. I'm always very interested in conveniences and design, and one thing I like about this room is it does have the electrical outlet where it's supposed to be, right beside the bed. Makes it very convenient. So I have all my chargers and power stations set up over there underneath the sheet, and then I have my kettle and coffee and everything set up over there. Very convenient. It's 300 baht a night, very inexpensive for Thailand, and that does not come with air conditioning, so there's no air conditioner, as you can see, just a fan. But the fan does very well because it's quite cool this time of year. Bathroom is also very basic. Hot water heater, sink. And I had my usual struggles with the hot water heater. First 2 showers were cold water because I could not get it to work. I played around with all the switches, everything I could find, and I just could not get it to turn on. Part of the problem is that the dial here is supposed to go from off to maximum, but it's such an old water heater that it just goes all the way around, right? It just goes around and around and around. So you have no idea really where you are. Is this really off? Because once you go past off, you're just back at maximum. I mean, there's no actual start or stopping points to this dial. So you have to play around with that for a while. I eventually got it to work though, and it was the problem with this button, the ECLB test. Someone had pushed it and that popped down the lever down below, and you just had to kind of keep wiggling this lever until the red light came on. And as with most of these heaters, you're not aware whether it's on or off until you turn on the water, because when it has water flow, then the master switch turns on. But anyway, I eventually figured it out. All right, so bathroom, main room. In terms of my plans for today, I don't have really big ideas for the day. I just want to ride my scooter around the town of Mae Hong Son, see what there is to see. There's a viewpoint about 15 kilometers away to the southeast up into the hills. I'm going to go there first, and then I might turn around and head a little bit to the north to one of the longest bamboo bridges in all of Thailand. I think bamboo bridges are really cool, so I'll go take a look at that. And there's a really interesting temple down here right beside the lake where my guest house is located. The lake that has no water. But yeah, things like that I might go check out today. On my way to the first stop of the morning, the lookout point. There's the temple ahead of me up on the hill there, the Wat Prathat Kong Mu. And I might go back up there at the very end of the day for a cup of coffee and sunset again. Very nice up there. This is one of the main streets of Mae Hong Son. And I just passed a tourist information office. I think I'll turn around and check that place out. Why not? I'm a tourist, and they have information for people like me. Here it is, right here. Huh. This is what caught my eye, this display here. And this appears to be the Ministry of Tourism and Sports. So this is the Office of Tourism and Sports. And they very thoughtfully put a table out here by the road. So we've got some maps. New normal. Don't know what that's all about. And there we are. Travel map of Mae Hong Son province. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'll take one of those. And they would like us to sign in, so I will do that. I just opened up the map and look at that. It's one of my favorite types of maps. Very clear and simple depiction of the region. And then photographs, or drawings actually. They're not even photographs. They're drawings of the various sites with arrows pointing to where they're located. And yeah, same thing on the other side. For different districts, there's Mae Sarang, Muang Mae Hong Son, Pae, Kun Yuan, and I guess this is the province as a whole. Very cool. I want to get to this lookout point while the sun is still relatively low in the sky. So I'm not going to stop for coffee or to look at my map yet. I'm going to ride straight to the lookout point now. All right, a trusty scooter. Got to carry me back up into the hills again. A little bit of climbing to do. One thing I've noticed up here is a large number of funnel web spiders. I'm seeing their webs all over the place at the side of the road. I haven't seen the spiders themselves, but there's two over here, and this hillside to my right is covered in them. I'm a little bit, just a touch of an arachnophobe, so I always notice when there are spiders lurking about. I don't mind them. Ooh, I just saw one down there in that funnel. I just don't like to be surprised by them. Yeah, every one of these funnels has a resident spider. I can see them sitting down inside their funnel. So I think here is where the road climbs up in a bunch of tight hairpins. I think I've reached the lookout point, and interestingly, it looks sort of in both directions. I think up at the top of these steps there, you get a view down towards Mae Hong Son. And on this side, you're looking back toward, or east, into deeper into the hills. The final few steps up to the lookout point. I don't know. I wonder if there's a higher one, because there's a hill up there that looks a lot higher than where I am now. But let's check this one out first. I don't know for sure that this is the main lookout point. There might be another one further ahead. But it's definitely going to give me at least some of the view that I'm looking for back towards Mae Hong Son. My ears have been popping like crazy on the ride up here. Yeah, definitely. There's Mae Hong Son right down there. You can see it quite clearly. And you can see that we're a lot higher than the temple, Wat Prathat Kong Mu, which is on that hill overlooking Mae Hong Son. That's way down there. We're quite a bit higher than that temple. Which I guess makes sense because we have been climbing a lot. But I guess because that temple is so close to the town itself, it feels very high when you're there because you're looking straight down on the town. We're looking at it from quite a distance away, but yeah, it's a beautiful view. And on this side, the road continues off in this direction. I don't know whether it goes over this hill range or cuts down on this side of it down into the valleys. I'm not sure. But I don't think I'm going to be going any farther than this. This is where I wanted to come to. But yeah, you can see the road continues off in that direction, and there are some villages and some farming areas off over there. But I'm hopping back on the scooter, heading down the mountain. I jumped ahead. I passed through Mae Hong Son, but I did not stop for coffee. I'm saving my coffee for after this visit. I'm going to visit, I've already forgotten the name, better look it up real quick, the Tong Pae Bamboo Bridge. Tong Pae Bamboo Bridge. And I don't know its exact length, but I keep reading that it is one of the longest bamboo bridges in Thailand. And I find it interesting because it's made out of bamboo, but it was also built with a very practical purpose in mind. It connects a village with a temple. And I guess normally the monks from the temple would have to walk a long circuitous route around all these rice fields to get from the temple to the village in the morning to collect morning alms. And the villagers all banded together and they decided to build, the monks, their own bridge right over top of the rice fields from the village directly to the temple. And they built it cheaply and using the material that they had, which was bamboo. And even though it had this practical beginning, it has become a tourist attraction. But yeah, look at this, much more developed than I expected. Look at all these shops down here. All of this for a bamboo bridge. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. And there it is. Oh, and there's the temple across the fields. Most of the reviews that you see online say that it's best to come here during the height of the rice growing season, and then all of these fields, of course, would be filled with rice plants, and then the bridge would be much more scenic, which makes sense. But you can't always choose when you're going to be where, so all the rice has been harvested and the fields are dry and empty. It's It's a lot more rustic than I expected, to be honest. I was expecting something quite a bit more elaborate in its design and style. But as I said, it wasn't made to be beautiful. It was made to be functional. It was designed just so that monks from that temple can cross the fields and come into the village. But now that I'm looking at it, even the story doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because the story is that the monks had to walk a long distance around, and the bridge would shorten their journey. But I don't think it does, because they could have walked just as I'm doing on one of these raised areas between the fields. As you can see, there's a trail going right beside the bridge. You could easily walk all the way across on this barrier between the fields. So it doesn't really shorten the journey at all. It just makes it more comfortable, I guess. You're not walking in the mud during the rainy season. Or maybe during the rainy season, this whole field is completely flooded and you can't even walk across. Who knows? I'm just guessing. But let's climb up onto the bridge. Join my brethren, my fellow tourists. Hey. The bridge has a very nice spongy feeling to it, with many layers of bamboo. I guess they keep adding fresh ones on top of the old ones. Now it feels like you're walking on top of a soft mattress or something. I can imagine this would be a lot more beautiful during the rice season, but it's very nice as it is. Gorgeous views of the hills and the rice fields. If I was living in a village nearby here and I sort of saw the effect that this bridge was having on tourism and drawing visitors in, I might start to think about building my own bridge, to be honest. I don't know what's involved in building something like this. I keep thinking it must have been more elaborate at some point, because these pillars, these posts, have ledges cut into them as if it was supporting something. Or it could be that all these posts and beams are just secondhand, taken from houses, old buildings. That's probably what's going on. Yeah. I was wondering whether there was some kind of a roof structure or something more elaborate in the beginning, but I don't think so. And I noticed when I was looking at the maps that I think the bridge passed over a river, and I think there's a section up here where there's an actual metal bridge that takes you over the final part to across the river and to the temple itself. And I guess this is one area where, yes, what I was talking about earlier, the monks would be faced with this as a barrier. If there was no bridge here, then they would definitely have to walk in some kind of a wide circle to a bridge, to get to the village, which is over here. So perhaps that's why this whole thing makes sense. Not so much the bamboo part, but this bridge here to go directly from the temple over the river. That would save a lot on the walk for the monks.
And the views are getting a bit more expansive as I'm climbing up towards the temple. The last section of stairs heading up to the top. And these are the bowls that I was talking about, where I think they light candles or incense or oil, something at night. They have them spaced out along the entire walkway and along the stairwells. Seems like this place would need at least a full-time work crew to keep everything maintained. Particularly all these walkways. This one feels like it's just about ready for an upgrade. You feel like you're one step away from falling through. Almost feel like you want to be harnessed in with a with a rope as you're walking along here. I've come around to the back side of the main temple, and it looks like this is a fairly new construction. They've completed much of the top part, but the base here is still open cement. I have a feeling that the original temple was a much more modest structure until the site and the bamboo bridge became a popular tourist attraction. And I think a lot more money would be flowing through the temple now. So they were able to build something a little bit more elaborate. Yeah, still under construction. I'll bet the construction has been going on for quite a while and will continue for a number of years into the future. I spotted something over here. One of my favorite components of any place I ever visit is when they have a display of photographs. Oh, wow, look at that. That must have been a time when the river was flooding. Perhaps 1958? Could it have been that long ago? You can see how high the water is next to the bottom of the bridge, and maybe they're clearing away some of the debris so it doesn't get washed away. Time when they had flags all along the bridge. It's a very classic image. The monks crossing the bamboo bridge to collect alms in the morning. I guess on certain days, you can see all the local people lined up on one side of the bridge and waiting for the monks to pass along. And then they would be exchanging different items, perhaps getting an alms donation in exchange for a blessing, something like that. Ah, an aerial shot. Yeah, the temple here, you can see the big building is under construction. Looks like it anyway. And then the metal bridge over the river, and then the bamboo portion across the field. A change in plans. I was going to end this morning's video with a coffee at a nice coffee shop in Mae Hong Son. But there seems to be a trend in this Mae Hong Son area where the big temple compounds, the big temple complexes, they actually have nice coffee shops right on the grounds of the temple. So I'm still here at the temple with the bamboo bridge leading to it. And just as I was leaving and thinking ahead to which coffee shop I was going to go to in town, I noticed that there was a coffee shop right here at the exit to the temple. So here I am, and I got a ice green tea for a change. I'm really starting to enjoy these. I have so much coffee that mixing it up with an ice green tea once in a while is really nice. It's got a really nice flavor. I love these. But yeah, I mean, the star attraction here is the setting. So here's my table sitting outside. I'm in the shade underneath these trees above me, which is really nice. Got a couple of other tables that are out in the sun right now, but I don't want to sit out there. It's pretty hot today. But here's the setting. And right over there is the bamboo bridge that I walked across to get up here to the temple. There were a lot more people here earlier. I think the big crowds came in the morning. When I first got here, it was just about noon, and I think that was the peak time. And now that it's midday, getting a lot hotter, and it's lunchtime, so not as many people are out on the bridge right now. But I'm going to sit here for a while, enjoy my ice green tea. And I think that will be the end of, as I said, this morning's small adventure. Thanks for coming along with me on this little trip. And I'll see you in the next video.